saying that the Earth is round, the Earth is round, the Earth is round. What's adorable is that they keep claiming that all the photos of Earth are fake, but they don't have a single photo of this fucking ice wall that's supposed to be around Antarctica. They keep saying that there's no photographs of Earth from space, that they're all composites.
Then in 2002, Blue Marble 2.0. NASA's Rob Simon made this. And it had wide appeal too. For example, it ended up as the default background on the iPhone.
I didn't even know until I bought an iPhone and turned it on and kind of did a little happy dance.
Simon's job is...
It's primarily taking data and making pictures out of it.
That's what this is. A composite of data sets from several different instruments translated into a picture.
To us, the really cool thing was the data set. Up until that point, there was no realistic color map of the globe anywhere.
So the land layer here comes from
the Moderate Resolution Imaging Spectroradiometer aboard Terra.
And the tricky part here was the weather.
So we actually had to take clouds out.
They stashed the clouds for later, went onto the ocean. That came from an instrument that measures phytoplankton in the sea.
Where it was low, I colored it dark blue because they're low mostly in mid-oceans. And then where it's a little bit higher, it was like a little bit brighter green.
Then add the clouds back in.
There's a small problem with it because there's a very slight gap in between each orbit.
So some of those are painted on.
It is photoshopped, but it's has to be.
Then
there was another layer to sort of simulate the atmosphere.
And then there's this little bright spot.
It's called the specular highlight. So it's the reflection of sunlight off of water.
Those are the pieces, but you can't just slap them all together.
It just didn't look realistic. It looks kind of flat, or the clouds are sort of too see-through. So I just hit Command Z a lot.
There's artistry to creating the world.
What I imagine it to be. Unfortunately, I'm not an astronaut. I've never been to space. But I've looked at these images over and over again, trying to sort of get the essence of it.
No, that's not true. Why do they keep saying that? They keep saying that. There's a fucking satellite, there's a bunch of satellites, but there's one from Japan that takes high-resolution photos of the Earth every 10 minutes, the full Earth from 22,000 miles away.
Yeah, that's the Japanese Himawari 8
Yes.
satellite.
Yeah.
But there's also like...
the full Earth from 22,000 miles away.
Resolution 121 megapixels. That's the size of the image they do. It's like a 11,000 pixels by 11,000 pixels view of the Earth. And you can zoom in and you can see cities, you can see contrails. And you can actually use these images from the satellites to actually match up with the views of clouds and contrails from the ground. So you can actually check to see if these images are actually correct, at least for where you are.
Right.
Then you could like phone a friend somewhere else and ask them, like, do you have like this type of cloud overhead? So you can actually verify whether these images are actually real or not.
Well, I brought it up to my friend Eddie, and he said it's all fake. He said all the photos are fake. They look fake. I'm like, but how would you know what a real photo of Earth from 22,000 miles looked like? Wouldn't it look exactly like Earth?
Yeah,
Like-
I think when you get to that stage of deep belief, you kind of have to believe that they're fake. There's no
Right.
way. And it's a real challenge. Like, how do you actually break through that for somebody? How can you actually convince them that something isn't fake if they just automatically assume it's fake? And I think, has the person actually looked in detail at these images?
Most people know.
And have they looked at the fact that, you get one every 10 minutes or one every 15 minutes, and every single image is 121 megapixel image, and it all matches up exactly with what the weather is around them. And I really don't think that the people who say, it's fake, have really actually looked.
Well, you're
at what's
absolutely
actually
right.
out there.
They definitely haven't, nor do they have any desire to. It's a belief issue, and it's almost like a religious issue. It's really fascinating.